Now, I believe that on one side of this debate, we have Sudha Ramalingam, advocate and human rights activist from Chennai. We have Kajal Menon, co-founder of Leher, a child rights organization, in our studios in Mumbai. And I believe also on that side is Aryaman Sundaram, though I will not preempt his line of argument. On the other side, seeking a change in the law and tougher laws against juveniles, Vani Tripathi of the BJP and Rahul Narvekar of the Shiv Sena. Now, Aryaman Sundaram, this fellow, this juvenile, he was the most brutal of all of Nirbhaya's killers and rapists. What he did to her is beyond description. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. I can only say that it was a perverse mindset, an animal instinct. He was the one who actually threw her off the moving vehicle devoid of her clothes. And I'm not even saying about how he brutalized her. Now, Aryaman Sundaram, when this fellow is out on the streets of Delhi 2 years from now, we expect the people of this women in this country to feel safe?
Arnab, I think you've got me on the wrong side of the fence by your opening comment. I maintain, and I have always maintained, that this nonsensical age limit of so-called 18 years, below which a boy can commit any kind of brutal act and get away with it, is absolutely absurd. I don't know, if 18, why not 17, why not 16 and a half, why not 15 and a half, why not whatever? The true test is the basic test in any criminal jurisprudence, mens rea. Is there a guilty mind?
Yeah.
If there's a guilty mind, if you know what your act is, if you are aware that what you're doing is wrong, and if you do it knowing that you're doing something wrong, I do not think age counts. And especially in today's day and age, when maturity is reached so young, when youngsters are out on the streets at a very young age, behaving in all manners like an adult and insisting on being given adult rights,
yes,
to carry on with this absurd 18-year limit, when somebody of 17 years, 364 days can go and commit a brutal act like this and get away like this, I think it is horrendous. And if you're asking me something on this issue today, I will say what happened today is a sad reflection not of what we did not expect, because we already knew the law. When he committed the crime and he was arrested, we already knew he was going to get away with 3 years, because we know that that is the law and that is the law which will apply to him. But what saddens me is that in all this time which has come about between then and today, we have done nothing to change the law. And that is what saddens me.
Agree with
Today's result is a natural happening pursuant to what the law
Agree
is.
with you.
And that will apply to him even if the law is amended.
Agree with you and
to change the law.
And many apologies on getting your perspective wrong. I'm glad to hear of your own position now, and I stand corrected on that, Aryaman Sundaram. But I want to ask Kajal Menon, however strong your views are, technically, Kajal, let's argue practically. Here is a fellow, a perverse mindset, a demon of a character who actually brutalized Nirbhaya after she lost consciousness. Right? And there were only two who brutalized her twice, and after she lost consciousness, this fellow is one of them. He took off her clothes and then he got her thrown off in that state from the moving bus. Let's not argue technically. At a practical level, would you feel safe if this kind of a character was out in the streets in 2 years, which is exactly what's going to happen?
Arnab and Mr. Sundaram, I wouldn't really like to get drawn by this specific case.
Why?
Because, if you take on a specific case and you take on a law should be applied or not applied.
Why not?
Or practical, because...
But this is a specific case. Nirbhaya is a specific case.
Yes, it's a specific case, and we know one side of the story.
What is the other side of the story?
What
is the other side of the story?
No, I'm not talking about the other side of the young man right now.
Are you putting a sob story here?
No, I'm not putting...
run away from a broken home, etc.
No, I'm not putting any sob story. What I'm trying to say is that given, and I think Mr. Sundaram put it aptly, that given the law that it exists and justice have to be, meted out both to the perpetrator as well as to the victim, there was no choice. And we may dislike what the verdict has been.
Now, do you believe that we need to change the law now? Because, it's completely unfair on society that we should have these people out in society. I think we are unwilling to wait now for decades till we feel that the juvenile justice system, etc., itself is repaired. We want an immediate correction to the problem, Kajal.
And do you think the immediate correction will happen if this gentleman is, as a lot of, is castrated or
I'm not
is,
saying castrated. I don't think
penalized
I don't think.
Do you think all crime will sort of end?
Well, that way, but that way, Kajal, by that logic,
will that send out a message?
No, by that logic, if we take action against all the murderers in the world, all crime will not stop. There is a possibility that a murder will happen. That the two accused in the Mumbai gang rape. The two accused in the Mumbai gang rape are also now claiming to be minors to escape.
Yes.
This provision is being misused.
No, if you're asking
to turn the law on its head.
No. Turn the law on its head is the question. So if you're asking, is there scope for greater debate on this issue?
Not debate, change.
Change?
Immediate change.
Okay, change. No, but change does not happen. It's a nuanced, complex topic.
Why
and
does
if
change
age
happen?
of juvenility has
we are
the
becoming
threshold,
the rape capital of the world.
If the threshold has been maintained at 18, and
why?
The international.
Why should it be?
No, there is no reason, but there has been a lot of thought that has gone into it. If you're changing it from 18 to 17 to 16 to 14,
why don't we?
There's no reason, but we need to have a debate and a consensus over it.
Well, of course we need to have a debate, a consensus and a change. That's what we want. We want a change. 18 is unacceptable anymore.
But I think we are barking at the wrong tree.
No, we're not.
We are just looking at the easy solutions and not saying what brings children to this. Because I have worked very. One second. It's not a sob story. I think one has worked with a lot of children on
then equally
the edge of
something
society.
has brought the adults to it.
Let Aryaman counter you. I'm going to come back. Yes, Ariman Sundaram, Vani Tripathi also coming in. But Ariman Sundaram first. Yes, Ariman. Mr. Sundaram.
I find that this is a bit of beating around with semantics.
No.
I haven't got an answer. I heard a lot just before me. But I want to ask, do you feel 18 is correct? And do you feel that a 17-and-a-half-year-old who commits a crime like this should get away and should not be punished except for the very limited extent? Can you answer that and say, yes, I believe that even if a 17-and-a-half-year-old commits a brutal crime like this, he knows what he's doing, he's aware of it, he's an adult in all other ways, and yet he should be let off. Do you believe that? And the second issue is, the point is we can debate all we want, but it is not a question of chronological age. It is a question of the mental intent as to whether you know what you're doing. That is a standard applied in all countries, in many countries. Why can we not look into that standard in this country?
Because we have this oversympathetic, point of view. Let's get everyone in. I'll come back to you. Can I just get a quick round and come back to you? See, the question is, I just want putting one thing in context. That the mother of one of these fellows, in the Mumbai gang rape, Qasim Sheikh, also known as Qasim Bengali, has claimed that he is a minor, though he's listed in his complaint as 21. Now, I'm sorry, but in our country, you can fake anything, including a birth certificate, overnight. Right? We will have a fake certificate industry tomorrow, and any rapist who looks reasonably young will claim that he's below 18 and try and get away. And as per the preamble of the Juvenile Justice Act, it is in consonance with the UN Convention of Rights of the Child, but it does not consider mental and intellectual maturity of the child, which is envisaged in the UN Convention. It does not consider that. And
Absolutely.
We are the rape capital of the world, and this is happening. Vani Tripathi, your counter to Kajal Menon.
Well, Arnab, to begin with, I'm reminded of this famous scene from a film, which created history worldwide called Silence of the Lambs, when Hannibal Lecter, the character, has been caught and the lawyer goes and says quid pro quo. It almost looks like a quid pro quo tonight that we use the word dislike for a verdict, which is so shameful. I mean, I'm not here to criticize what the Honorable Court has said, but the fact that we are here justifying a verdict which befalls all rationale as far as not just the criminal justice system of this country is concerned, the most savage, the most heinous, and the person who did it to Nirbhaya, and the whole country was bursting at its seams, crying out aloud for justice, which was supposed to have been delivered in 3 months, now takes 8 months, and we are still yet questioning whether this is juvenile, this is not juvenile. Number two, what is the definitive reality of understanding what is juvenile? A 17 years, 3 months, 6 months, 8-year-old doing a crime and a 13-year-old doing a crime. Do we make that distinction when we look at jurisprudence? And when was law ever etched in stone in this country? I will remind you of the Meerut rape case, which became a landmark case as far as the rape laws of this country. Why can't Nirbhaya's case be the very instance which creates history as far as the juvenile...
Well, basically because of the human rights lobby.
And the way
No, basically because of the human rights lobby represented on the program tonight by people like Sudha Ramalingam.
Why doesn't
no, the human rights lobby,
why doesn't the human rights lobby answer the human rights of this lovely, beautiful, would have been a doctor who's no more, whose life is no more, whose family is shattered?
I throw that to Sudha Ramalingam.
Was just there with this. Where is the human rights lobby talking about human rights for the victim who's gone, who's dead, and we'll never see her again? Where are her rights? Where are the rights of the victim? Where are the rights of the women in this country?
Sudha Ramalingam, respond please. Why do you have such a one-sided view of things?
Which is called the rape capital of the country.
Sudha Ramalingam, why do you have such a one-sided view of things?
I'm not having a one-sided view. I think, Arnab, you have a one-sided view of all human rights activists. That's your problem. Your problem is to sensitize things and not really think of law as it has to be administered. Justice has to be administered as per law. You can have your laws amended if need be, and we are not there to say that this should only be the law. We are here to say that it should be just humane. You are the one who just now told that every paper could be forged in this country. You are the one who just now a little while ago said you can get any birth certificate, and in a country where you can get anything, you can also accuse a person, arrest a person tomorrow, even you could be held up for rape. You know, there could be a false complaint against you by any of your own colleagues, and what will you do? On that day you will think of all our human rights activists. You will not then be talking about anything else other than
that have to do with juveniles?
Also the law
you're not understanding.
The law being abused.
You're not understanding the argument.
People, you're deemed innocent till proven guilty. Don't keep quiet and keep on accusing us.
No, nobody is accusing you.
Arnab, this is a fantastic argument to give. Arnab, this is a fantastic argument to give, to talk about sensitization. Who are the human rights activists sensitizing at the end of the day? Are they creating sensitivity for a young, impressionable life who's gone? Are they creating sensitivity? Imagine Mrs. Ramalingam answer this question when 3 years later this boy who's probably 20 years old is out on the streets. Will you feel safe with your daughter? Will you feel safe with your sister? Will you feel safe? Are you going to sensitize society towards him and say, no, he has done it once, he won't do it again? Are you going to look at the correction system of what the mindset which creates rape in society? Are you ready to put yourself on the anvil and answer that?
You see, Ms. Sudha Ramalingam, you unnecessarily...
Yes, I am ready to answer.
No, Ms. Sudha Ramalingam, watch it. Ms. Ramalingam, 1 minute. Ms. Ramalingam.
The person could be reformed.
Ms. Ramalingam, I know that you have great fondness for me. This debate is not about me. I know your love and affection for me. I reciprocate. The question is very simple. And I throw it as a challenge to you and to Kajal Menon. My question is as a challenge, and I'm letting Kajal Menon answer that, and then Rahul Narvekar will come in. I am asking, should the one... You see, 1 minute. I am not an activist. I am not an activist. I am not a human rights activist. I am not an anti-human rights activist. And I am certainly not a lawyer or politician.
You're becoming one anti-human rights activist.
No, I am not an anti-human rights activist. All I am saying today is...
You are now.
All I am saying today... Ma'am, please. No, ma'am, not at all. All I am saying is, should the severity of the crime be of no consequence in such cases? Shouldn't there be some room for discretion instead of a blanket rule? No, 1 second. 1 second. My challenge to you is, and I'm throwing to Kajal, and then I'm going to get a response from Rahul Narvekar. Does it not seem ridiculous to you, Kajal, that a boy who picks pockets and the rapist murderer in Nirbhaya are subjected to the same law? You pick a pocket, or you are a rapist murderer, you are subjected to the same law. Maximum 3 years in a reform home. Kajal, answer
Absolutely. But I'm just responding back to, I can, really empathize with the agitation of Vani and the public mood that is there. But, there is worry if we are going to get hooked in and pulled in by the emotion of the moment and change laws, change what has been thought through to a certain extent.
Change it.
Without a consultation. Nobody's
What
saying don't
consultation?
change
I mean, emotion
it.
of the
Nobody's
moment.
saying, Vani
Is
or
this
Mr.
emotion of the
Sundaram.
moment?
Mr.
I mean,
Sundaram
when
is a
the
lawyer
first
out there.
rape law
And I
in the
think
country
nobody
was made,
stopped
was it
him
emotion
for
of the moment?
agitating for change in law. But let's go by a process to find out
excuse me, Arnab.
what should be done. It can't be done on a TV studio.
No,
Why
but where
don't
will
we-
it be done?
Why don't we take...
Where will it be done?
One second.
Where will
Why
it be
don't
done?
we
Why-
take... Can I just finish,
Why
Vani?
can't it be done?
Please.
What is the emotion of the moment all about?
Vani, can I
This is
just
emotion
finish?
of the moment, something the whole
Vani,
country
can I just
reacted
finish,
to,
please?
and not just the country.
Because if you
saw, no, just a minute, Kajalji,
No, but
please.
can I just finish my
need to understand
point?
this emotion of the moment business.
Can we use the
No,
same
I mean, it's
emotion?
A very important, it's a very
can
important
we use
phrase
this?
that you use.
Yes, the
Is this
same.
the emotion of the moment that we are talking about,